of democracy, are so expensive to run, including political parties. If we create that situation, we'll end up with money bags, no matter the level of civic education we give to our youths. Because if that is the structure we have, then that is what they have to maintain. One fundamental thing which we need to get right from the basic is this. There is any society that its economy functions on politics rather than politics functioning, economy driving politics, cannot survive.
No, hold on. Any society where politics is driving the economy
instead of the economy driving politics will not survive. And why do we have that situation? Because we have made political offices so attractive, so rewarding, to the extent that people are prepared, business leaders are prepared to abandon their businesses, and then take up political offices, either as a legislator or what. Look, go to the local level. Councillors, you'll be shocked. So many councillors are very wealthy. Some earning as much as with their allowances as 150,000. These are supposed to be part-time posts. You are interested in your community well-being, in your ward. Why do you need to get paid humongous amount of money to do that? But because we have made it so attractive, politics is what is driving the economy now. When you look at any situation, most of our businesses, they depend on government to survive, whereas the reverse should be the case. We should have a situation where people who are involved in businesses, who choose to go into government are going there not because of the reward, but because they want to contribute, positively to society. But what we have currently is that many people would rather close down their businesses because you become so rich within 4 years. Yeah. You amass so much wealth, and we are not questioning where people get the money from. When you look at the cost of properties, land in many of our cities, our economy is not performing, to justify it. But what is justifying it is politics. That is why many of those buildings are owned by politicians or held, in proxy, for politicians.
So that's why the challenge, therefore, is to make politics or make
less attractive.
Being a politician less attractive.
Yes, and less rewarding.
Like I always say on this program, it's only in my country that you ask a man what he does and he'll tell you, I'm a politician. It has become a profession. Now, Malaki, yes. Professor Mabogo just said that we are at the cusp of change that may either bring about a difference in the living conditions of Nigerians or spiral into a greater crisis. He also says that the idea of change ought to constitute a serious challenge to our national lethargy, a call to rise up and get things done. Is that the call that you were talking about, that we have to bite the bullet now?
Certainly so. And I don't think it can be better put. I think in that statement, he also emphasizes the implication of ignoring the call, which is that we might have to harvest a more complicated situation sooner than any of us will imagine it. But I would think that since the focus of today's discussion is about good governance, we just need to go to the basics. In contemporary times, democracy seems to represent what good governance means in most climes. That does not mean we've not seen other economies, other countries surviving without the full-blown democracy. But by and large, it seems to be the parameter with which you can measure good governance. And what are the components of democracy? A free press, which we forced and still consolidating with the Freedom of Information Act, even if we have the corresponding challenge of also engaging the judiciary to fully accept that we have long passed the stages where you throw up one technical concern or the other to deny the citizenry of that free access to information. Rule of law, are we having it in full-blown throttle now? Independence of the judiciary, citizen participation, which is organized around political parties and civil society, don't forget, this whole thing about civil society is driven by conscientious Nigerians who are not part of the political class per se, but have realized that whether they liked it or not, they have to complement one way or the other the political processes. And we've had historic interventions along that line. You can see how the country is floundering, almost moving like a rudderless ship on the issue of restructuring of this country. Those were ideas that they allow Akabashon, Chief Ganifame, Woloshenka, and a host of others conceived around 1990. Did not just conceive, they took proactive steps to actualize it by organizing the first conference around 1992, when the general Babangida realized that even if he had earlier accepted the idea, it will determine his own fate, and then scuttled it by deploying soldiers there. We've seen historic roles in the trajectory of our march of nationhood. So, but in all of this, the one that excites me most is the issue of citizen participation. We cannot all, I can't be with certain people, and I hope you'll not be scandalized if I mention names. What will I be discussing with Tony and Nena if I belong to the same political party? Nothing. So, and at the moment, the whole thing has been monetized in such a way that your relevance has become completely reduced without deep pocket. And we now realize how this pocket became deep and